Here is Joe Concha on that same Fox and Friends program. And he is upset that what he perceives to be the Democrats' desire to not have any debates. I certainly can understand why they wouldn't want to have a debate. Why should they? I don't think, I think for the most part, Joe Biden is way up in the polls. I think it is a disservice, frankly, to the American public to not have a debate. I think, we deserve to have a debate, but I can see why Democrats don't want to do it because they think that Donald Trump is going to lose. So why give him any opportunity? But I think there is some confusion about the word cancel.
And look, we want Joe Biden doing fact-checking during debates. He said during one debate during the primaries, 150 million people had been killed by gun violence in this country, or, half the population. He also recently said that 120 million people had been killed by COVID-19. Yeah, that's the guy that I want fact-checking. So, look, it's not just cancel culture now. Now we're advocating canceling the presidency or canceling things, a tradition that we've seen all the way back during the television era, presidential debates for 80, 90 million Americans to see. In October.
Right.
That's their best argument, that it's a TV tradition.
It's not just cancel culture anymore. Like, what are you talking about?
It doesn't even occur to them to say something to the effect of the American public deserves to hear the visions of these two people as to what they will do with the country. I mean, they don't even pretend that's what this is about.
I mean, if you're a Fox News viewer and you see this and you have any understanding of what's going on, it's so insulting to your intelligence that they're just cramming these words together to be like, oh, let's foment some outrage here.
Exactly. It's more cancel culture. The whole cancel culture thing is just fine. It's driving me insane because this is all just it's just PC. It's just anti-PC stuff. It's the same freaking stuff.
Tale as old as time.
Huh?
Tale as old as time.
It really is. It's just pushback on, somebody who would, who was that player? He was going around. They were talking about him today.
Recent?
Where is it? Shoot. I think I just.
What sport?
I think it's funny
basketball.
how it's rebounded on top of everybody who signed the list, particularly the whole Barry Weiss saga. And I mean, I think it's almost kind of funny how the more they articulate that stuff, the worse it is for them. I don't know.
Yeah, and if you're a leftist and you find yourself on a list of names full of disingenuous right-wing hypocrites, you might want to take a second look at what you're signing on to.
I just love the argument about the slippery slope, because if you're canceling these people now, and I don't know who gets canceled. I mean, frankly, I'm not even quite clear on what that means. Beyond
some people signed a petition against Steven Pinker saying he should be stripped of some sort of credential because he talks a lot of nonsense.
I mean, that is horrible. Why would you want someone stripped of a prestigious title just because they're saying stuff that is demonstrably ridiculous? If it's not demonstrably ridiculous, then guess what? Don't do it. But the idea that first they come for Steven Pinker and then they start coming for the left. I got news for you. They've already come for the left.
Yeah.
That's murder.
That's the only reason why we hear about cancel culture, is because they're not coming exclusively for the left anymore.
Yeah,
that's the only reason why, because they're not coming exclusively for the powerless anymore.
Yeah, I mean, what do you call it when the FBI murders Fred Hampton or any number of Black radical leaders? Is that cancel culture? What do you call it when they decide to cancel democratically elected governments in Latin America? It's so broad as to be meaningless.
Or Kaepernick. It was Muhammad Abdul Rauf,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
who was an NBA player, and he would not stand in line for the national anthem, was fined, and I think he was drummed out of more or less. I don't know what happened to him, but like or Kaepernick. Like where was people talking about cancel culture, as if this was a societal problem then? And he was legitimately canceled. Like he lost his means of supporting himself based upon his politics in a venue, or I should say in a profession that had nothing to do with that. Like, Steven Pinker's not being people are not trying to get him stripped of a title because they don't like the way that he dresses or something, or something completely unrelated to that title.
Yeah, or as a pangloss, basically.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just absurd.
No,
it is. That's why you never hear anybody talk about like how PC culture is ruining everything, because they just have a different name for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I do think we've put our finger on the two most relevant things, which is one, like we had Vincent Bevins on the show to talk about the Jakarta method and the mass murder of people ideologically leftist. And varying degrees of that happened all around the world within living memory, including in this country. And now we also have a democratic communications medium like Twitter where people can talk. And so, yeah, like you have to run something like Persuasion, where it's a walled garden where you can decide that, the most troubling time in free speech is now and not
right.
The Jim Crow era.
Yeah. Like there's no ombudsman either out there trying to make sure that the left and the right are treated the same. There's no one whose job that is. There's nobody doing that. They're going to treat the left like crap no matter what. I'm talking about the people with actual power. So we got to fight back however we can, folks. But now the definition of cancel culture is even broader, right? To bring it back to the clip, it's not just smashing together like J.K. Rowling getting angry comments on her transphobic blog posts with like some random worker who gets fired for like saying a slur on Twitter, which are already fairly disparate phenomena with fairly disparate causes, I would say. It's also just canceling things in general, right? Cancel culture is when you want to not have something.
Right. Well, I'll tell you something. What's also stunning to me is we are living in an era for the past month where for the first time in the history of this country, it is illegal now in 20 some odd states, or I should say all the states, but prior to a month ago, it was not illegal in about 25 states to fire someone because they're gay. It's still, and I think hopefully the court cases will bear this out, still perfectly fine to boot someone out of their home because they're gay or because they're transgender. But think about the absolute deafening silence about that amongst these people. Where is their publication or their letter? Where are they actively, like that to me seems like a pretty big cancellation. You're going to get fired because I found out that you are you're a man and you're in love with a man, or you're a woman and you're in love with a woman, or because you are trans. I mean, that to me seems like real cancel culture. The rest of this stuff is just people with power complaining that they're losing it in some way.